Welcome to this episode of Home Built Workshop. Today I'm going to weld up a replacement bracket for a storm door. Sometimes a project comes out of necessity. In this case, I wasn't planning on having to do this project, but we had some wicked wind here in Colorado and it blew our storm door open and broke the bracket right off the wall. The original bracket is made out of just kind of a thin sheet metal. This is actually the second time this has happened. The first time this happened, I replaced it with this particular bracket, which was supposedly a heavy-duty bracket. Well, it's pretty mangled up and basically unusable. Pretty much got destroyed. I have no idea how this happened. I was not home at the time, and I just came home to find this thing all busted up. The door's flopping around in the breeze, and gotta fix this. I'm gonna just weld a quick one together using some 3/16 plate steel. Pretty sure that's gonna be strong enough to where this is not gonna happen again. So let's get started. I'll start by taking the busted up bracket apart and kind of straightening it out so I can figure out what I need to do. This thing's mangled. All I really want to do is to try to get it somewhat back into shape so I can just take some measurements. I've got a few offcuts that are pretty heavy duty steel. I think will work really good. I may even be able to utilize some of the shapes. Some of the corners have been kind of nipped off on this. I'm just going to lay out the parts kind of where I need to cut it. Now I'll clamp two of the pieces together and cut them off with the grinder. Now I'll just clean up the end. For the next cuts I need to make, I decided to try a reciprocating saw. The grinder worked, but it's really loud, throws a lot of sparks, and I just thought this might work a little better. Once I have all the pieces cut, I'll clean them up on the bench grinder. Then on my drill press, I'll just drill the hole for the pin that attaches the cylinder to the bracket. Now I'll drill in countersink for the mounting holes that'll fasten this to the wall. Now I'm just going to remove some of the burrs with a file. This will help get rid of any of the sharp edges and also make sure everything fits together nice and flat. Next I found this little piece of square stock. It's going to make a good little spacer for the back edge. I'll just clamp it together with some vice grips. And we're ready to weld. Now I'll fire up the welder and get this thing welded up. First I'll weld along the spine. Then I'll weld the mounting plate on the bottom. My MIG welder is really old. It's probably at least 20 years old. It's really not that reliable. It's definitely something that I'm going to need to upgrade in the near future. Now I'll just clean up a little bit of the welds with the grinder. Finally, I'll give it a couple of coats of white spray paint. The original one was powder coated, but I think this spray paint will be just fine. So I think it's pretty clear, the new one versus the old one, which one's going to hold up a little bit longer. All I need to do now with this bracket is get it installed. I'm just going to screw it into the side of the door frame using some heavy duty screws, and it should hold up pretty well. So I had fun building this project, even though it wasn't one that I had originally had planned to do. I really do enjoy welding and I don't get to do it near enough, so I had the opportunity to fire up the welder for this project, so I jumped at it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also follow me on social media. I'll put links down below in the description. I want to say thank you to everybody for all your support. I really, really do appreciate it. Also, don't forget, I've got a second channel. It's called Inside Home Built Workshop. You can hop on over there and subscribe as well. Just some behind the scenes, kind of what I'm working on, what's going on in and around the shop. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.